Hey, David Judge here, and today we're going to talk about how and when you should upskill a VA in your business. Now, this is actually a really cool question, as there are a lot of instances that come to mind when I think of when I should actually be upskilling a VA. So let's cover that off first, and then we'll have a look at how you can effectively train a VA, the techniques and tools that I use, and then we'll finish it off with how you can actually use your VA to train other additional people and VAs within your own business. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Excellent. Okay, so this sort of goes without saying, but the first instance you'll need to upskill a VA in your business is when you first of all employ them. Now, like with any new team member, you'll actually need to complete a form of onboarding, which is a term used when you actually upskill your team member into the role, including the sharing of the effective methods and behaviors they need to adopt in order to make them a great fit for your business. Now, during the onboarding process, you would normally outline all the tasks at the beginning, break them down into monthly buckets, and then the repetitive tasks, break them into weekly buckets. Now, if there are any existing systems or procedures that you've recorded, then this is the time you would share them with your VA and get them to go through and absorb each method. Now, if you don't have that, that's okay, but it will actually take an additional investment of your time or somebody else within your business to get them up to speed. Now, as a reference, when I arrange VAs, I would actually understand the overall tasks we'd like them to complete, like I mentioned earlier, and then we follow the same monthly and weekly exercise to drill down how the VA will actually work within the business. We'll then flag the tasks that we can upskill the VA on using our own onboarding process, and then flag the tasks the client would need to upskill the VA around. Now, we find this actually works really, really well to get a person to perform really fast in the business. And from start to finish, it would take between 3 to 4 weeks, which is about the same time it would take to employ a skilled person locally and to get them to integrate within your business. So this would be the main time for you to upskill your VA. And dependent on how and why you've actually employed a VA will be dependent on when or how you would need to upskill that team member. If you've employed a team of VAs to act as a support for admin tasks, then you may want to branch one of those team members into a higher role of responsibility, like to get them to oversee the other team members. Or if you have a single VA, it could be to upskill them on additional tasks to free up your workload. Now, most recently, we had a VA that was working for a client in a support ticket role, and their employer started to upskill them on web architecture just to see how they go, and they found they absorbed it exceptionally well. They're now employed or upskill that person into web architecture, and they've employed another support ticket person to work answering those tickets. Now, the point is, as your VA becomes more competent and confident within your business, you'll naturally delegate more tasks for them to complete. So that covers off how and when you'll have to upskill your VA. Let's cover off the best training methods. Now, this is actually pretty simple, and we've actually found one-on-one time where you're actually communicating directly with a person works best, where you can openly communicate ideas and tasks, and you can offer and receive active feedback. Now, you can do this via Skype, which allows voice and type communication, and you can use several other programs like Google Hangout or Facebook Messenger. And when it comes to demonstrating tasks, I usually like to screen share, and this is where I use TeamViewer, as it allows me to share my screen with others, and I can allow others to control my computer and vice versa. Now, this also allows maximum interactivity, and if you're getting a person to perform the task, you can get them to complete the task as you watch, and you can get them to do it as well as, and you can correct any issues that may arise along the way. Now, if it's existing software, you may also want them to show them YouTube videos, as this actually allows them to leverage your time through upskilling using a person that's already prepared all the instructional videos for you. In other words, someone's already done all the hard work for you. Now, this is the same way that we actually work with our own VAs if we're looking at onboarding and upskilling them into our business or for our clients. And one of the areas where we do have additional benefit is that we actually have physical offices where we can arrange our team to have meetings and meeting rooms and training rooms. Now, this would be for a client that would, let's say, for example, employ 5 VAs, and we would actually hold like a group training, which would train those VAs up on a series of different tasks. Okay, last point, and then we'll wrap up. Every team member we bring on board records and creates their own training manuals if the client is happy for them to do so. Now, this is actually a record of how they complete each task and the elements of those tasks. Now, they would normally include videos where they record the different video steps, images and text that can be used to upskill if they were to ever lose a team member, or if you wanted to use it for the VA to on-train another team member or another VA within the business. Now, we find this works really well if you have your VA create the procedures for your business still allowing full access to the training for you to access and critique at any point in time. I prefer Google Drive in this instance, as if you don't have any other existing system that you can use to manage it for you, is this actually allows you to store the information and to control who and when a person can actually have access. Now the last point, if you're going through and you're doing this, is if you're getting the BA to go up and set it up for you, is you should actually have and ensure that your BAs sign legally binding NDAs around any of the tasks they're recording for you. Okay, so that's it. And let's cover off the next session where we're actually going to answer what are the exact costs of a VA. Now we're actually going to talk outside the hourly rate that you pay them, and we're going to discuss what else you should pay for. Now we've actually had a massive amount of experience in this area, so it's going to be great for to be able to share it with you. Now if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, make sure you get in contact with me and I would love to hear from you. And as always, this is David Judge talking outsourcing and showing businesses how they can work smarter.